So hey, still working on my game and it's really neat, but just spent the week working on this cool text effect and I owe you a tutorial, seriously. Okay, let's do this! Get Text Mesh Pro. The good thing about Text Mesh Pro is it's going to generate our text meshes for us, and it's free! Wow. What's a text mesh? Well, all our 3D models have meshes full of vertices, edges, and faces, and if you don't know what those are, then what are you doing on this video? And also, did you skip year 3 maths? Or 22nd grade math? I don't know how American grades work. So, when we put a character on the screen or in our game, we make a simple square mesh. Warning, all squares are just 2 triangles in a trench coat. And we paste the image of our character onto it, which is generated through the font with glyphs or something, I don't know, I've never been taught how that works. So each character is just a square mesh, and a string of text is just an array of characters. Text Mesh Pro does the hard part of figuring out where all the squares are supposed to be based on your settings, and you get a lot of settings with this library. So what we want to do is edit the vertices of this mesh, control the vertices, and you control the world. I mean the faces. We do this by accessing the TMP text component in the start function and calling force mesh update. This will generate our beloved mesh. Let's set up 2 class variables, a mesh for our mesh and a vector3 array for our vertices. And then in the update method, call force mesh update and set the mesh and vertices to the text component's current mesh and vertices. Let's start with a little per vertex wobble effect. I've got this simple wobble function here, but you can replace this with whatever kind of wobble you want. Just use a for loop to iterate through every vertex in the array and offset it by the wobble. Here I'm passing a different point in time for each vertex as I want them all to wobble different. Then you simply assign the mesh's vertices to the new one and update the text mesh's mesh by calling update mesh on the text mesh's canvas renderer. If you're not using the Unity's UI system, then you just have to assign the mesh here. Ooh, wobbly. Okay, let's try doing this on a per character basis. Instead of iterating through the vertices, we're iterating through the characters, using our text component's handy field, text info. The text info field has a ton of useful information about the text, including an array of information for each individual character. So we iterate through that, take each character and find its vertex index. That's where the first vertex of the character square will be in the vertex array. Now, it's a simple case of calculating the wobble, then adding to each of the vertices in the square by offsetting the vertex index 4 times. Look at that wobble. Reminder that you don't have to wobble here, you can essentially do anything to these vertices, like this little zoom effect I've got, and you can even rotate and scale them using matrices. The final part is doing this on a per word basis. It took a bit of time to perfect this, but essentially in the start function, or whenever you get the string for your text, I use this bit of code to determine the location of all the spaces in the word and use that information to calculate the word indexes and the word lengths. Just copy it, you don't need to understand it, but if you do, then bonus points, you get an A. With these 2 lists in tow, we can iterate through the indexes of each word in the string, then iterate through the characters in each word using the word lengths. These are called nested for loops if you want to look smart in an interview. If we calculate the wobble offset before the second for loop, then all the characters will have the same offset. And voila! We're now wobbling them on a per word basis. Oh, and also if you take the mesh's color array, you can edit the vertex colors for gradients, which I use whenever I want rainbow text. With this, make up all the crazy text effects you want. I'm serious, and never settle for static boring text ever again. This is the 21st century. The last 40 years of game development haven't been around so you can slowly roll your text like the first bloody Final Fantasy, or just do what you want, I'm not your boss. Pixel Smith now has an itch page, so please give it a follow. Trailer coming soon. Like and subscribe, and thanks for stopping by.